Hi guys. So I've started doing the thing that I dislike the most about looking for a new job. And believe it or not, it's not actually going on interviews or talking to all these people and doing all the code tests. I mean, it's not great to be forced to do really lengthy extreme processes, but the thing that I dislike most is when it's all said and done and you sign with the company and you're now forced to tell a bunch of people that hey, you're not interested in the job anymore, or I don't like disappointing people. I'm very I'm not bad at it. I just I get a bad feeling in my heart. The thing that that space where it's usually all fussy and gooey and everybody's so happy. It hurts a little bit in that spot when I have to contact people and cancel my plans and say no, not interested anymore, which is surprising considering how many companies and I mean, the companies usually don't care. It's very rare that they give a shit about you if it's the other way around. That's then it's all business like. So I suppose I should, lighten up a little bit and let it go. Anywho, I spoke to a few. I signed my contract with my services, and they were amazing. I mean, there was. It seemed to be. It seemed. I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun there. It seemed to be a really nice bunch of people, and yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty cool. And I also spoke to I sent out notices to all the people. I haven't sent it out to everybody just yet. I'm gonna try to get to everybody and say that we can have a discussion about opportunities and so forth, maybe in a year or two or something like that. Because it's not that I don't think I'm gonna be at my services for longer than for longer than that. It's more it's a good measurement. I think in terms of years, at least a year, and then you evaluate and see, oh, is this a good place to work? Yes or no. And I have my, it's something I do once a year. I just ask myself, how much have I learned this year? And it's very rare that the first year is usually a lot of learning and personal development. The second year is a little bit different, usually not that much, depending on, of course, where you are and the challenges you face. So a Ticketmaster, for example, that would have been in a few weeks or a few months or something like that. That would have been that would be my second year officially, and I would have made that evaluation and asked myself, what have I learned from being here, and is this a good place to keep on working for, to make sure that I keep on developing. And if I'm honest, if I had that question today, I would say that no, it probably isn't anymore. There's a lot of complexity in the application, but that's not complexity in the application is not the same thing as learning opportunities. Just because something is very complex doesn't mean that it evolves your ability. It challenges your ability to solve complex problems, but complex problems are always going to be complex. If that makes any sense. Think of it as being a weightlifter. A weightlifter has to a weightlifter can learn how to do a deadlift, for example, or bench press, and he can do that technique, which is that's what I call learning. He learns to do this technique, or she, and the more weight you add on, the more the more muscle mass you will gain, and all that, the more your comfort or your ability to perform with that technique is going to be increased, which is exactly what happens when things are very complicated. It allows you to test your ability to do something, but it does not teach you, a weightlifter will not learn new techniques from doing the same technique over and over. So sooner or later you'll stagnate or reach some type of peak, and that's what I feel has happened for me. That's why I originally started looking for a new job. And that being said, I mean, I'm no way like I still have a lot of stuff that I should learn and so forth, but I don't think that there's much left at Ticketmaster overall. So, that's why I wanted to try something different. And I spoke to Klarna about their offer, and like, because I had been through their entire process, and this is actually interesting because it turns out that they offered me the job the same day, and the day after they also sent me an email saying that you have the job. And I spoke to them yesterday, and it turns out that someone I don't know who exactly, but somebody had pointed out that there was a logic test in the beginning of this process, and apparently I don't know, there was a minimum amount of points you needed for this logic test. So, and I failed that with, I think, 3 points or something. I was 3 points below the minimum. And I think there was a total of 18 points, and I had like 15 or something, and you had to have 16 was like the limit or something like that. I can't remember exactly. So they revoked their offer, based on that, and the Joshua, the HR guy, he was, let's just say that I think he felt that this was very difficult. Well, I could see that he was very uncomfortable with it because they had told me that I had the position, and now from nowhere they come and say like basically they changed their mind, or maybe they gave me like they said I had it before they checked all their facts. I don't know. But anyway, I told him like it didn't matter because I had already signed with my services, and I wasn't interested in the position. I wasn't interested in the position to begin with. I really only came up there to see if I had what it takes to work at Klarna, and like everything else was apparently very good. Everybody liked me, and like I fit in very like all the team members loved me apparently, and that's why they said that they had hired me, but they had this rule, or I don't know exactly what's going on there, and that was it basically. And yeah, this is kind of touching on, so it's the same type of problem I have talked about in my previous videos, where I don't know why that is, but we have this like the recruitment process and like the testing process of IT people. It almost gets into it almost gets into I don't know, I can't say anything besides that it's absolutely ludicrous. Just think about it. So a single logic test. I had 15 minutes to complete this. I passed all of the interviews, passed the code test, the first code test, passed the second code test. So 2 separate code tests. Have like my CV passed. Everything is dandy, and a single 3 points. Or a total, like the maximum was 15 points. So say a maximum of 15 points or 5 points, a miss of 5 points maximum, is enough for them to dismiss you as a hire. And apparently they're trying to lobby to remove this logic test, but that's besides the point. So that means that that's all it takes for you to determine whether or not somebody's going to be a good fit for a position in your company. And I said to Joshua, like, I don't take this personally. I mean, I wanted to see if I had what it took, and everything else was pretty much flawless. So if this single thing is enough for you to feel that no, there's not a position for you here at Klarna, then that's of course that's your decision. But I would say that it seems to me that you have that is less. It's not logical. A logic test, rather a deduction that I feel is not logical, because it's sure I have no excuse. I wasn't logical enough to pass that test, and that's okay. But if it's a single test out of like everything else, and everybody's been telling me that I've been doing great, So either somebody's lying to me, or you have what I like a warped or understanding of what it is to make somebody productive in your environment. I mean, I spoke to my teammates and I listened to what they had to say, and I looked at what they were building and did and so forth, and I can tell you right now that these were not super coders. Maybe they had 3 points more than I had on the test, but I could see that they were lacking in other areas. And as I said, it's not something that I feel like, I don't beat myself up about it, because it's not something that it's not logical, or rather it's an irrational response to something, I would say. I have had similar like interview processes where, well, it's this classic all or nothing type of deal, where you get answered, you get questions about very like complicated problems, and if you can't solve these like fairly complex problems, you're, you know, you are dismissed based on that, and which is, as I said, which is fine. But very few companies, these or rather the companies that I want to work with and the companies I talk to, usually have a test that is relevant to the position that you're going to have. They're not trying to, you know, go based on solely based on, you know, I don't know, an intelligence test. I mean, I said this to Joshua as well, like, had this been a mathematics test or like anything like that, I would have failed hard, like really hard. I would have completely failed, because like my math skills are not that great, and I'm open and honest about that. But as I said, if what they're looking for are just smart, clever people, and that's what, again, that's how they measure how clever you are, then, you know, then it's probably for the best. I mean, it didn't matter in the end, but you know, it's not fun anyway to, like, ideally, I would have wanted to have them offer me the position, because it feels good to know that you passed the bar. But when I failed the bar with such a minor issue, and when they tell me that, you know, they already offered me the job, and to me it seems that I failed based on a technicality, and I can live with that. That's not a problem. But yeah, so now I need to contact some more people and like basically let them know that I'm going to work for my services, which is, you know, I'm pretty excited about that. I'll start on a hackathon day, so I'll get to probably hang out with the teams or the team and get to build some pretty cool stuff. And what I'm even more excited about is that, you know, where I'm gonna learn a new language and do more full stack work, which I think is going to be great, because I feel that I need to change from all this JavaScript. I mean, I love JavaScript and so forth, but it's nice to have a change of scenery every once in a while.